I'm just so curious about what you do with the instruments that you use. Maybe just talk us through this instrument and some of the sonic explorations you can do with it.
It's kind of a long story, so I'll try not to try not to go too long about it. But as a kid, one of the things I realized about the bass was you could tune it to anything. It's a really tough instrument, and you're more likely to break a string than to damage the instrument. And every time I changed the tuning on the bass, something strange and wonderful happened, and this whole new world kind of opened up. And that interest just has remained for my whole life. And I kept getting more and more into this concept and trying more and more tunings, and I found hundreds and hundreds of tunings that worked really well for me on the bass. And I thought, this is really great, but I need to try to take this another step. Actually, spending so much time alone in my room, I assumed that everyone else was doing this as well, and that I was probably really not doing enough with different tunings, even though I was using hundreds of different ones. And so I thought, well, the thing I'd really like to get into is being able to change tunings while I'm playing, because it's each tuning is so beautiful and expressive in its own world and environment to goof around in. But it would just be so exciting to be able to use a couple different tunings for one piece without having to stop and retune. And I got interested in this right when I was 19 or 20, somewhere in there, and started asking guitar builders about, could we make a bass that would allow me to change tunings while I was playing? And the reactions I got back from people were really interesting. They ranged from people just kind of backing away from me slowly to people who get really angry. And most people told me that it couldn't be done. Most people said, that's impossible. Or even if it could be done, why would you want to do that? And so I got kind of shyer and shyer about asking people. And then I met Joe Zon. And he's kind of, I guess he liked my playing. And he said, I'd really like to build you a bass. What would you like? And I said, you don't want to know what I want. And he kept bothering me and saying, I'd really like to build you a bass. And I thought, well, this will get rid of him. And I kind of basically described the system that we use on this bass. I said, that's what I really like. And there was a moment of silence, and I waited for the usual reaction to occur. And he said, yeah, we could do that. And I'm not sure that he hasn't regretted it ever since. But so that's, this bass has a lot of weird things about it, but that's the weirdest, is that it allows me to change tunings while I'm playing. So there is no standard tuning for this bass. It starts anywhere, it goes anywhere. And the retuning part of it is in two parts. At the headstock here, these are hip shot extender keys, is the name of them. And these were actually on the market, and they were designed to be put on your low string so that you could drop your low string down to a note lower than standard low E. And what Joe did is he took two right-handed ones and put them on these two strings, and two left-handed ones and put them on these two. And so with this, I can change the tuning of each string here at the headstock like this. So it allows me to move through different tunings this way and set up a different configuration. So, the bass really changes its personality there. But we didn't want to stop there. So we also wanted to be able to change tuning at the bridge. So we went through a lot of, this was really a difficult challenge to come up with this. We designed a lot of things, and people told us that they couldn't build it, or people told us they could build it, but it would cost us $20,000 and stuff like that. But we ended up with this bridge, which is, it's a little hard to describe, but there are cams that run underneath the bridge, and each string sits on a kind of tray, and there are these levers on either side of the bridge, and by moving the levers, I'm turning the cams, and that moves the trays up and down. So I can change the tuning of the whole bass with one lever move. So if I do this, I'm dropping the whole bass down a whole step. And then I can use these in combination. Move to lots of different tunes.
Wow. Thank you for that demonstration.